Welcome to another AMA with Kadena Ecosystem. In this episode, we'll be speaking with the team from Secret Garden of Kadena. This conversation was recorded on July 21st, 2023, live on Twitter Spaces. The views and expressions in this AMA do not represent the views of Kadena Ecosystem directly and are not to be considered as financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research on the projects presented. Also, make sure to subscribe to our account to be alerted of new uploads. Now let's get started. Enjoy. Welcome everybody to another AMA with Kadena Ecosystem. Today we have back with us the great guys over at Secret Garden of Kadena. They are an amazing project that has been building for quite a while now in the Kadena ecosystem with some really cool games that they're developing and some really awesome Gnome NFTs. So welcome guys, welcome back. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us here.
Awesome. So why don't we just start off with the basic usual rundown, just in case this may be the first time someone's hearing about Secret Garden. Just kind of a quick rundown on what Secret Garden of Kadena is all about. So whichever one of you guys want to do the elevator pitch, take it away.
I'll do it, but I'll just to let you know, I have about 15 minutes of driving left before I get to where I can stop. So I may go through a little dead zone up here. So if I cut out or rug, Kevin, jump in and finish up for me.
Nah, dude, I'm going to leave you hanging. Sorry.
We're Secret Garden of Kadena. We're a gaming project that's building on the Kadena blockchain. We'll also be running on Flux. We've got a partnership with Flux Labs, which has been great. We also have NFTs, which will be kind of the gatekeep functions and staking rewards and things like that built in our project. We're trying to do something a little different where the rewards for the games are actual in-game usable NFTs. So the play-to-earn system will be based more off of usable in-game NFTs than it will be off of a token. We may have plans for token in the future, but currently we don't. So we're trying to create something a little bit different, a little bit more sustainable, using the NFTs as rewards so that people that play can either use those NFTs in-game, upgrade those NFTs, or sell those NFTs if they want to for a profit. So we've got a pretty interesting idea.
Oh, it looks like you may hit one of those dead spots.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if you wanted to pick up there, Kevin.
Yeah, I'll try to pick up where he left off. So yeah, we're trying to do some different things. We're trying to build some different genres of games for people. We just want to have a place where everybody can come to one location and play different style games. We're currently building on the Blox Heroes right now. We want to complete this game, get it going, and then maybe look at a tower defense and then just start doing some different, some farm builds or something where different people can play different style games, because we know everybody has a different taste and we don't want to just have one style. So we're kind of trying to split that up for everybody. We also have like our Gen Zero collection right now, which we are in the process of basically getting staking done. We've got the devs working on our front end and our back end. We're trying to tie everything together so we can get the staking going on our website, which is pretty close. It's just a ton of stuff going on. The team is building, the game's coming along. It's looking really good. We're getting regular updates from them and just, going over what we like, don't like, making changes. And so things are just kind of really starting to come to fruition with the game and the staking and all of that itself. So I hear you, Kyle. Did you make it back in?
Yeah, I'm just probably going to be in and out the next minute or two, going through a little bit of a dead zone.
That's fine. If you want to finish what you were saying.
I was talking about the play-to-earn system and just trying to make it sustainable using NFT rewards that could be sold or used in-game. The reward system is a little different. The rewards are gonna be released through in-game play and through the staking. So we're not gonna have like a big sale of all the weapons or anything like that up front. So it's gonna be kind of a slow trickle over the course of probably about a year or so of the first set of rewards. We'll do more later for each hero, but it'll be kind of a slow trickle of rewards, which we think will keep the prices of those rewards to be resold a little bit higher, as opposed to dropping a whole collection. So with the way that we're doing our play to earn rewards through the staking and gameplay, tournaments and things like that, and then the way we're using the NFTs as in-game upgradable rewards, we think will be a better, more sustainable long-term system that'll be better for the players of the game. So, but yeah, like Kevin was saying, we plan on having multiple games in the future. And we know that everybody likes different styles of games. Blox Heroes will be kind of a survival battle game. The next will probably be a tower defense, and then we have several other game ideas that we like. So yeah, we're just using NFTs as the gatekeep functions and stakings for each game. Kevin mentioned the Gen Zero, which is a 128-bit pixel collection that we released last February. It was a free mint, but it'll be the gatekeep and staking for the Blox Heroes game. The staking hopefully will be done. We've said this a few times. We don't like putting numbers on stuff, but hopefully it'll be done in the next few weeks. We've got a guy that's working on it right now. He's got most of the smart contracts written out. He's working on the front end, and we're going to start testing stuff and make sure everything's functioning. So hopefully in the next few weeks we'll have that up and running. And then we're still working on the game. The developers have been working on it for the last month and a half now. Really trying to fine tune some stuff and just get it looking and playing well. We working on the NFT art for the staking rewards and all the weapons and gear we're going to do. We currently have, I think, 34 different weapons and gear pieces that'll be NFTs that could be usable in game to upgrade the heroes. So yeah, we're working on all that artwork and getting all that integrated into the game. So we've been busy building a lot in the background.
Well, that's great to hear that you guys are, continuing to push through. We've seen a little bit of a lull in the entire ecosystem. And I think it's just a lot of projects are, have their heads down and are really just kind of keeping quiet while they constantly work in the background. And obviously you guys are no exception to that rule. Now, one thing I really enjoy hearing too is that these new NFTs, these new weapons and things like that are going to only be obtainable through in-game participation or through the staking mechanisms, which I feel is actually one of the best ways to go when it comes to those kind of things, because have already gotten into Secret Garden early on with the first run of NFTs through the staking mechanism. It gives them a reward for, being part of the community for such a long time now. But then it also, with the play to earn kind of aspect of in-game, it's going to drive people to want to play the game. It's going to bring even more focus to the game, more users to the game. So what was your idea when you first came out? Because a lot of projects, when they come out with a game like this, they, and then they come out with an upgradable kind of character NFT edition items. Most of them, usually go out for a mint. What was really your driving factor in wanting to go this route and making it more of a free way to earn them for existing users, as opposed to the almost kind of a pay to play kind of aspect?
Well, one of it was looking at, when you look at play to earn gaming and you start doing research on it, a majority of games out there have tokens. And I won't say anything disparaging about that, because a lot of people have pretty good systems with that. But a lot of those games also use a pay everyone to play every day type of thing. So everyone comes in and does XYZ, can get so many tokens. And when you do that type of system to where everybody's winning or everybody can go bet whatever and redo, you run into the system. You run into where you have, of course, for the gameplay aspect, you have whales, other people. But on that whole token system as well, you get that sell pressure constantly on the token, because there's so many tokens out there and everybody's getting some every day. And it really, people start out playing the game and they might be making $10, $15, $20 a day playing it. But then within a few months, they're down to like $1 or $2, because everybody that's getting the token is just selling it immediately to take profit. And it really hurts the overall gameplay, the project and everything. Just overall, like everything just kind of fizzles out. And we really sat down and tried to figure out different systems of play to earn, ways to make it more interesting, ways to make it more sustainable, to where the people that are playing aren't necessarily losing aren't losing the possible profit that they'd be getting through some other system. So the system that we're doing with the staking rewards and the daily leaderboard systems, it makes it a slow trickle of NFTs, which means instead of flooding it with everybody winning every day and all these NFTs are now for sale and nobody can sell their NFTs, so they're not making any profit, that hurts the project long term. So we really tried to come up with a really good system that didn't flood the system with NFTs, that people want to play and they want to buy, they can on the marketplace, but there's not just a million NFTs floating out there and they're so easy to get that nobody can sell theirs and they're not making profit and it hurts the project. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. And yeah, I agree. There is good and bad when it comes to creating a tokenized system and using a token for a reward type thing, because that, like you said, it can drive a lot of people just playing to get the token, even if it's just, kind of a participation award kind of system where, no matter what, as long as you put your NFT up and you play, one round or whatever the system may be for the game, that you get some kind of reward. A lot of people will kind of see that as a way to kind of farm free money, turn around and just flip those coins into KDA or whatever else that they want to use. And it's just kind of, it doesn't really provide for consistent usership of your game, a consistent development of your game, because you want people to play every day, play all the time, but also enjoy their sense of play and feel like they're being properly rewarded for it. And also, keep them from wanting to just take those things and just sell them on the market. Now, you did say, though, that these NFTs that people are going to be able to earn through the staking and play to earn, that you are looking to make them so that people can, if they'd like to, put them up on a secondary marketplace and sell them. But I kind of see, like, if they're upgrades to a character, I don't see many people really wanting to do that unless you have, unless you're a big whale owner of these NFTs and you're getting like so many different upgrades and stuff through staking or whatever that you just can't even really use them all. So you may put some extras on the market for the people who don't necessarily, either don't know about the ways that they can earn them for free and just kind of want to upgrade their characters, buying the thing secondary market. Have you guys been in any talks with any of the marketplaces yet to set those kind of things up? Now, you did originally mint with Arcade for your 8-bit style Gen 0 NFTs. And then with your Gen 1 NFTs, you went with a Soku marketplace. Are you going to be in talks with either of them possibly for listing these new weapons collections and equipment collections?
Yep, we've already been in discussions with Ahsoka for getting all that worked out. As soon as the artwork is completed, the artwork is mainly done. We just had to go in and pick which function that NFT would be tied to in game, whether it's going to increase your crit chance, whether it's going to increase your hit points or whatever. We had to go through and pick all that with all the gear. We've got all that set. The artist is getting all the names of the gear and everything set up on the cards. They're going to be kind of like a playing card style. I hope to share a sample soon on Twitter. They're going to be kind of like a playing card style. The weapons are pretty neat looking. But we're looking at doing a Soko for the marketplaces on all that. Another thing that we've been looking at and is the fact that first collection, which is going to be the gatekeep function for the game, only has 1,050 NFTs, and we currently we have like 300 holders or something of those 1,000. Besides, so it limits how many players can actually play the game. So we're also looking at making another kind of like gatekeep NFT that we're going to put out so that people can go and possibly grab some of those to play the game as well. So for those heroes and those weapons and all that stuff, we've been talking with the Soko and trying to get the game plan worked out on how we're going to mint those and then work on that with the staking and releasing those with and having them for sale in the marketplace on the back end as well. So we might do a very small sale of weapons just for like the holders or OGs or something of our community, just to thank them for being around so long and being holders and all that. But it will be a very small sale. It's not meant to be like a big profit grab or anything like that. It's just a little something to thank them, to allow them to grab some early. But we do have a couple of whales that have quite a few NFTs. So the way our staking system works is if your NFT is staked, for every NFT you have staked, every 7 days you can claim a random mint of one of those 34 pieces of gear. So every 7 days, if you've got 10 NFTs, you'll be able to go pull 10 different weapons every 7 days and use them, sell them, whatever you want to do with those weapons or gear.
Now, all of the staking and all of the gatekeeping and stuff, are they specifically, when we're talking about these things, are we talking specifically of the Gen 0 8-bit NFTs, or does this also include the Gen 1 NFTs?
It's just going to be the Gen 0. We had thought about doing something with Gen 1 currently with this as well, but Gen 0 is going to kind of meant for Blox Heroes, the survival game, and then the Gen 1's meant for the next game, and kind of so on. So the Gen 1s are available for sale currently on Ahsoka, but those will be for the next game. The Gen 0s will be for the Blox Heroes and for staking. And we're going to the hero NFTs that we're creating also to give extra players the ability to play if new players come in. Those will be stakeable as well. So you'll be able to, but we're going to add some special features to the Gen 0 to make them a little more special. We want the Gen 0s to still have some more utility and functionality compared to the hero NFTs. So like, for example, one is for the hero NFTs, there'll be a barbarian and a mage to start off with. We're going to use those two characters to start off. So you'll be able to go buy one or the other if you want to play that character. The Gen 0s won't have to pick or choose. They'll be able to play any character that's available in game. So a month or two from now, when we introduce another character and then another character and another character into the game with different weapons and different gear and stuff, the Gen 0s will have access to kind of any one of those heroes. They'll be able to play any one of them at any time. They won't have to just pick and choose. While the people who are buying the hero NFTs will basically only be able to play whichever NFTs they own of that class of hero. So we're going to try to do some things for the Gen 0s to make them a little more special as well. But we will have the staking and gatekeep functions for those the battle heroes NFTs also. And then on top of that, did I rug? No, something happened with my phone. Sorry.
No, you're still there.
Okay. Sorry. We're also looking at expanding out those NFTs over to Polygon as well. We love the idea of being cross-chain and wanting to bring in other communities into Kadena and expand the knowledge of Kadena and all that as well. So we're looking to make similar type functions for the games and for staking and stuff as well on the Polygon network. But that'll be something we do maybe a little later after we get all the Kadena stuff set up.
Well, that's great to hear that you're looking at branching out, because that's one thing I've been talking about recently with other projects, saying that like a lot of the projects that are in Kadena right now, like we've kind of got to this plateau where the projects we have now are all really good, solid projects that have done their work and put their work in so far and have developed these really great projects and communities. But being that the Kadena community right now is not exactly the largest community, that you kind of hit that spot where you've pretty much reached out to everybody already. You've already got the attention of everybody, and there's really nowhere else to go. So you kind of have to start branching out and looking into those other communities. And a lot of people, a lot of these projects that are doing that and looking into branching into other blockchains and other networks, some people give them a little flack for that, saying like, well, how dare you? You have to stick with just Kadena. Everything has to be just Kadena. You can never go outside of that tiny little box, and that's just really backwards thinking, because until we have to start branching out into these other networks and other communities to show people what Kadena is all about. And, what better chance than to do that than to bring your NFTs, bring your games, bring your dApps to a whole nother ecosystem, be it Polygon, be it, just anything. There's really the world is so open right now in blockchain that, it just it's not going to hurt you to start looking into other networks as well. And it doesn't necessarily mean, like I said, that doesn't mean that you're leaving Kadena to go to these other ones. It's that you're bringing more people into the fold. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't think that, I think more projects should actually start thinking that way until, we see this huge increase in users and use cases in Kadena. Once the Kadena team starts, hammering out these bridges and all this kind of stuff that they're working really hard on right now, once that stuff comes, then you may be able to focus a little bit more inward. Right now, focusing outward really seems to be the best bet for a lot of these projects. I don't know if you want to maybe add on to that.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely believe that
Go ahead.
cross-chain. Sorry, go ahead, Kevin, if you want to.
No, I was just going to say, we thought about that a while back, and that's even part of why we have our name set up as Secret Garden of Kadena. Like, we're 100% Kadena. But we do know we want to cross-chain and reach out to others and advertise and bring people to Kadena. So our heart and home is Kadena, but if we could do something and have some games or something on Polygon or Solana or somewhere out there, Cosmos, yeah, we can bring those people here. We want them to come to us. We're not trying to go to them. We're just trying to reach out and drag them in because we know eventually Kadena, we're like you guys, Kadena's the heartbeat. We think eventually Kadena is going to be the top dog. So we just want to be in position and help bring people in.
Yeah. And everybody should know by now the future is cross-chain. No offense to any maxis out there or anything, because a lot of people love Bitcoin and other ETH and other stuff. But, things have got to connect because there are certain blockchains that are better at certain things. And that cross-chain compatibility really is a major thing for a lot of projects and stuff. And if you start looking at other projects that are building on Polygon initially, they are now branching out to other networks. They are going from Polygon to something else or Cosmos to something else. Like they're all like trying to go cross chain to the point, where they also were spreading out. So, the idea of, and I'm not going to knock it, but the idea of staying on one network could be good for a project, but it could also hurt the project in the long term. You want to bring in as many users as possible to make the project sustainable, and that cross chain is really important. And we've been trying to really branch out on all the spaces and stuff we've been doing. We've kind of made connections with people from several different blockchains, and we've gotten into Twitter DM groups with a lot of these people, and they're doing a lot of spaces and inviting a bunch of people in. So we've been doing all kind of spaces with other projects on a lot of different blockchains and just trying to spread the word about Kadena and get people over here and looking at Kadena and understanding how powerful it is and how great it is.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to really branch out there. And, the more people we have coming and looking at Kadena and realizing all of the amazing features we have, be it Pact, Marmalade, or even just the playing Kadena chain web and everything itself, people will come eventually once they see the value in it and they see the technology. All it takes is a slight knowledge of how crypto and blockchain works for you to be able to see how Kadena stands out from a lot of these other networks. But like you said, there are other networks that are doing things differently. There's other networks that may be doing certain things better than Kadena or worse than Kadena. Kadena may be better at, XYZ versus this other blockchain that may be doing something just slightly different that works out a little better. But, the people in crypto need to get over this whole maxi kind of thought where, this coin is the best coin and everything else is a shit coin. That shit coin term is the worst thing that ever happened to crypto. And it was basically started by Bitcoin maxis who think that Bitcoin is the number one coin because it was the first coin, and pretty much anything that came after that is crap because it's just in quotations, a knockoff of Bitcoin, where we're way past that point now, where there are things that there's cryptos out there that put Bitcoin to shame, like the things like, for example, how we just to Bitcoin, which is like, NFTs have been around since, I don't know, I remember back in the 2017, 2018s with CryptoKitties and some of the really early NFTs on Ethereum, things like that. But even Bitcoin, it had kind of an NFT system back in the day called colored coins, which was more tokens, I guess, than NFTs. But like, it just shows that, there isn't one be-it-all, end-all technology in blockchain that's going to be it. They know that the future is going to be multiple blockchains. And hopefully the one thing they're all going to have in common is the smart contracts on top of them, which can all interweb together and will bring that whole cross-chainness around and interoperability between all these different chains. And hopefully we're moving towards that kind of thing. And hopefully Kadena is, building that tech with Pact and with all of their different the layer twos that they're working on right now. And we'll start to see all of this stuff kind of come to fruition. I believe we're probably a ways off from it, being that Bitcoin's only, 2008. So I guess almost 15 years old now. So it has been around for a while, I guess. But, when it comes to the development of things, even if you look at cell phones, the development from, going from checking to debit cards, all that stuff took generations to become mainstream, become valid, become, very open in the system. But blockchain is slowly getting there. We're starting to see the governments take more interest in it. We're starting to see more mainstream adoption, large corporations incorporating some kind of blockchain technology. So, it is around the corner. And once it does happen, we're hoping that a lot of really cool projects like Secret Garden and like a few others on Kadena that are really working hard now will be the front runners when that happens. Now, one of the things that I really enjoy too is that we're starting to see more pickup of blockchain in gaming, especially like even in large places like I believe PlayStation is starting to get into the idea of using NFTs and things like that with their technologies. So, we're starting to see that adoption. What do you guys believe will be the next big thing in NFTs and in GameFi on just specifically the Kadena blockchain, now that we're starting to see things ramp up like Marmalade V2 and all of these different tooling and things like that coming into fruition? What do you guys think is going to be the next big thing that pushes us further towards that mass adoption?
Well, from the GameFi aspect, I think it's just people realizing that there's a way out there that they can make money playing the games that they love. I mean, people spend tons of money on skins of Fortnite and they just can't use them anymore. Once they realize that there's going to be games out there that they can buy those skins and then resell them or something, that, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's going to be huge in itself. Is just once people realize what the power of play to earn and different things is, so when it comes to NFTs, I mean, of course, I think the next big thing, probably, no offense to gaming, but I don't think the next big thing I think it's going to be when like driver's license, court documents, mortgages, real world, information and documents and things like that start being adopted. That's the real next big thing. And that's what Marmalade's trying to do, really. They're really looking at how NFTs can be used worldwide for all kinds of stuff. I mean, you think of Quicken loans right now, you can go get a really fast loan in 30 days or 40 days or whatever it might be. You think of the future of that, you could, perform a smart contract function, have that same process done in minutes or hours, and then the person gets sent an NFT to their wallet, which is their deed for their house, all on the same day, versus what we're doing now. So there's a lot of things like, court documents, and driver's license, voting. We look at how people complain about voting and things like that but NFTs can solve all that. We can prove an identity on the blockchain that this is this person, and once they voted, there can't be cast again. So there's a lot of things coming for NFTs that are way beyond what they've been used for so far. And I do believe gaming is a huge aspect of that. I think it's one of the bigger aspects of it, but I think the next big step is when corporations start using NFTs, because I've heard things like Disney now. Disney's going to be possibly selling NFTs, and that NFT basically is like a free pass into the park, but you can rent that NFT to people for a day. So you can actually put it up on the marketplace where someone can go buy use your NFT for a 3-day pass, and you can sell that to them, and they can use it for 3 days, and then it goes back to you, and you just rented your NFT to someone. They got it into the park, and you got money for it. There's just so many things that travel agencies. There's just, Airbnbs. There's so many things that NFTs can be used for. I think the technology is really incredible. I personally think NFT technology is as important as crypto and blockchain in general. I think NFTs has a lot of power.
Yeah, I totally agree there. That's that's one of the things that when I first got into NFTs and realized that they were more than just JPEGs and monkey pictures and stuff like that, that the actual technology behind it is change. It can change how many of these corporations and financial systems, government systems could operate. Voting, I don't know if voting will ever become something that's on the blockchain, because the way voting happens nowadays, they don't want you knowing how it works. Transparency is like the devil to them. They don't want that to happen, although it would be the most transparent and most realistic way to become voting for sure. It definitely should happen. But usually when it comes to governments and things like that, the things that should happen don't happen. So hopefully, though, I'll be wrong, and within our lifetimes, we'll see that come to fruition. But I strongly believe that in some of the recent spaces and campfires that some of the Kadena team members have done, they've said things like healthcare records, which was one of the things that I always thought, well, right off the bat was, like my girlfriend has some medical issues, and she said, last time we were on vacation, she had to go to the hospital. And of course, like they don't have her medical records. They don't have access to any of that information. So we have to go through everything again, tell them the whole spiel, all of the background, all of that kind of stuff, where it would be so simple to have those records in an NFT type form. The government produce an application that you download onto your phone. It is through private keys, and then when you go to the doctor, you just open up the app. It gives a QR code. The doctor scans it. You give them permission, and then bam, they have full access to your entire medical record safely and securely, and that you have control and access over to it, which I thought was like the number one thing that as soon as I looked into NFTs, I'm like, this is what it should be used for. And then when you get into the smaller use cases, the first thing I thought of too was Ticketmaster. If Ticketmaster tomorrow was to go turn to NFTs for their tickets, it would solve 90% of all of the issues they have with counterfeiting, with secondary sales, with all of that kind of stuff. Because, like the last few concerts I've gone to, my tickets were on my phone. They were in digital format. They were scanned off of my phone. So they've already gone to this digital format. Why not go one step further to something that can be even more secured and less fungible and easier to, control, especially like this just kind of seems like these systems were made for them to take advantage of. And another one I really love too, sorry for a little bit of a rant here, but is trading cards. Could you imagine if like something like Topps came out, turned their trading cards into NFTs, and then started using oracles, so that you say you have like a LeBron James trading card, and the information and stats get updated after every single game, because that information is getting pulled from an oracle directly to the metadata. How amazing would that be? And then it opens up the whole marketplace, where as opposed to going to some store somewhere that buys collectible cards, you have an online marketplace where you can trade these cards. The possibilities are really endless for what NFT technology can do. But, when most people look at NFTs kind of in the same way a lot of people look at crypto, all they see are, these monkey pictures or these stupid meme coins. That's all they think that crypto is monkey pictures and frog meme coins and things like that. And they just kind of dismiss it based on just that quick kind of glance of profile pictures and all of these just meme tokens out there that have absolutely no use case, no utility, no real meaning other than making a few people rich and making a lot of people poor. So, we are definitely moving towards another era of technology in blockchain. And, the more people that start utilizing it now, like you guys, like many of the projects here in Kadena, we're setting the foreground and showing people the different ways that this technology can be utilized. And you guys are showing great examples of that through gaming by, showing that instead of just making it so that you earn, like a lot of people are probably familiar with mobile games where you earn like, Amazon gift cards or things like that. And you're teaching them that, look, you could use NFTs as a reward system. You could use NFTs as a way to bounce the game, a way to upgrade your characters, all these different use cases that people are going to start to see and will just drive even more adoption. Once people see it, they're going to be like, well, why the hell wasn't I doing that all along?
I agree. The healthcare aspect is really interesting. I've done healthcare for 20 years or so, physical therapy, massage therapy, and personal training as well. So the healthcare aspect would be amazing. I think that would be awesome to have an NFT with your medical record, and it can be updated with on the metadata and everything as your record changes. I think that's a great idea. The sports cards is cool too. What got me into NFTs back in January of 2021 is NBA Top Shot. And that was just the video moments of all these NBA players. And so, I mean, I've got well over 100 NBA Top Shot NFTs that I've collected from way back then. I'm just sitting on for years because, heck, Chris Paul, LeBron James, they even came out with some older ones like Tim Duncan. And so I've been grabbing as many of those for a few dollars here and there as possible because just like trading cards, you never know when those video moments may be worth something one day. So there's a lot of things that can be used with NFTs, I believe.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember those when those Top Shots first came out too. Could you imagine if those became like actual trading cards? Like I said, it kind of furthers it as opposed to being just a stagnant picture. It could be a short little GIF kind of picture of, your favorite player dunking or LeBron doing some kind of crossover. And that's your card, which then updates through the metadata after every single game. So you have constantly upgraded information. It just kind of blows my mind the way, once people start thinking outside of the box, that people can start really turning this technology into something that is even more amazing and beneficial to not just the consumer, but the actual companies using them and utilizing them as well. So really cool kind of ideas, really cool things for people to think of. Now let's get a little bit more back into the games that you guys are working on. For people who don't know, you already have one game out called Blox Heroes. It's an amazingly cool game, very easy to play. Any updates when it comes to that game and in terms of will we be seeing a mobile version or anything like that anytime soon?
Yep, we're developing a WebGL version. We're doing Android and iOS, which iOS would be a little more difficult. But there was something the last couple of weeks. There was an announcement made from the Google App Store saying that they're going to start letting NFT technologies in different games and stuff utilizing NFTs and crypto. They're going to start allowing more of that. So we see that adoption happening through Google, and hopefully Apple will get on the ball too. But yeah, we'll have mobile versions of the games. We've actually switched up the games a little bit. When we were starting to look at building out the game and the cost of everything and redoing stuff, we started looking at the fact that we wanted to make we had one developer that kind of created the prototype. But we wanted to go with a bigger game company, a better game company for the actual the bigger game. So we went with the bigger game company for that, and they basically said, look, for us to go back through all this other person's code and figure out what all they've done and rechange everything, it's actually so much harder to do than just rebuilding the game from scratch. So we made the decision to rebuild the game from scratch, but and in the process of that, we discovered that some of the assets we were using for in-game had been updated, and some new assets had come out. So we actually went in and the enemies, the heroes, the weapons, basically everything is going to be a little different looking. So it still will have a similar style gameplay. It'll be kind of an open world map where you run around and things chase you and you got to kill them and survive as long as possible. But it will look a little different than it does now. The heroes will look different and all of that. But so yeah, there will be quite a bit of updates to the game once it's released compared to the prototype.
Well, if you guys are going to be improving upon that game, I can't wait to see, because it's already really cool and really fun to play. I checked in at the start of this week and gave it another go, and I always enjoy playing it every time that I fire it up and just sit there and kind of play around with it, get to like move the character around, do a couple little battles. It's definitely a fun game that I definitely see people getting really involved into and really enjoying. And the next game you guys are looking at building is going to be a tower defense type game. Do you have any kind of more information maybe to leak about what you're kind of expecting that game to be and how people are going to be able to play it?
Not necessarily, because we have 2 or 3 really good ideas of how we want that game how that game could possibly play. And so we're really trying to decide on what would be the most fun way to build that game. Me personally, my favorite game that I played for 7 years now, basically, is Clash Royale, which is just, you have 3 towers on your side, they have 3 towers on their side. You get to pick 8 of a bunch of different cards, and you get to just kind of whatever your strategy is to try to take out their towers. And I love that style of gameplay. But there's been a couple of other games that I've played that have some really interesting styles as well. And so I've got kind of a list. I've actually got 7 or 8 different ideas, but there's 3 main ones that I'm really looking at that I just that I like and I think will be really cool games. So we haven't 100% chosen exactly how that game is going to play, but we do have a pretty good idea of what that's going to be like.
We've also looked at a few of the different styles, what NFTs we want to make and what those are going to look like, of whether it's the character or the tower or how they upgrade. So there's some different styles and ways we can go with that. It's very interesting, but it gives it a completely different concept to what you're used to seeing in the past. So that's still kind of in the works.
It'll have a similar system with staking and upgrades and things like that the Battle Blox will, but we'll do some different things. It probably won't be weapons to upgrade in the tower defense. It'll be other things. But so it'll be a similar system for the play to earn, but a little different on the way NFTs will, what type of NFTs we'll use.
Now, since you've said how the Gen Zero NFTs are going to be kind of the gatekeeper for the Battle Blox game, so people will need one of the Gen Zero NFTs to get access to the game. Right now, the game is just kind of open for anyone to go and play. Now, you did mention earlier, too, that since there's such a kind of a small pool of people that own the Gen Zero NFTs, of possibly doing another mint or something of more NFTs to gatekeep that. Is there any chance that the game is going to also stay just kind of like open, free to play for people, where they can play the game, but they can't necessarily earn without owning an NFT?
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. We wanted to have it free to play for everyone. We in the research that we've done on GameFi and stuff like that, we feel like that's another thing that kind of handcuffs a project. It bottlenecks a project to make it where only holders can play. And when you look at, obviously, you look at revenue to keep a project going long term. If you have free to play games that people, that don't want to go do the whole NFT play to earn thing, you still have an economy there. You still have chests they can buy. You still have coins, gems they can buy. So you have an entire economy in the free to play games. So people can play them for free, but if they want to really try to, just get higher up in the game, they can go buy more coins, gems, and chests, and different things like that, which will help them in game as well for the free to play. And all of that is income for the project as well. So it helps for the sustainability of the project to make it a free to play with in-game purchases.
Now, we did mention earlier that the upgradable, or not upgradable, but like the equipment NFTs that people are going to be able to earn and things like that, they're going to be able to be sold secondarily on markets. Are those going to be tied to any royalties as well? So when people do sell them on the secondary markets, there will be, some income coming back to the game itself?
Yes. Yeah. And we'll have we'll start doing tournaments, which we get to play the player versus player part of the game built, which will come a little later. We'll start doing tournaments as well. And then, of course, just like with other games, when people pay in a certain amount for the tournament, a majority of that money goes back to the winners, but a small portion of that goes back to developers in the game as well. So, if 1,000 Kadena gets put into a tournament, then we may take 10 or 15% of that for the project, and then the rest of it gets paid out. So there'll be some other aspects with the royalties and then the tournaments and stuff like that, which will also be income for the project, which will keep it sustainable long term. And I'll just to talk about the upgrade system as well. So basically what we're doing is each gear and weapon piece, I think there's 34 total, each one will be start out as a 10,000 collection. And they'll all be level 1. There'll be 10,000 of each. Of course, there'll be slow trickle of those to the staking and the rewards, but there'll be 10,000 of each. To upgrade that weapon, you'll need 2 of the same weapon, 2 level 1s of an axe or 2 level 1s of a helmet or whatever that might be. And once you combine those 2, it'll become a level 2. To do that, you basically have to burn the first 2 and mint another one. So each one of our weapons has 4 levels. So we've created 4 different NFTs for each weapon. So like, let's say one of the axes, we'll have one of the axes, we'll have a level 1 of that axe, which will have a certain amount of power, specialty, whatever, skill. If you get 2 of those same axes, you can actually upgrade to a level 2. So the level 1 will be a green NFT, have a green background with then it'll have some certain shapes in the background. The level 2 will be a blue background. So it'll be a common to a rare to an epic to a legendary. So there'll be 4 different levels of each piece of gear. So you'll basically need 8 of any one of those pieces of gear to get to level 4. As time goes on and people are getting this gear and upgrading it, it makes that collection deflationary. So that 10,000 goes down to 1,250 eventually. So you'll have, 1,250 level 4 weapons in the game. So that's another aspect of it that possibly makes it more valuable for people to play the game, because if they have a few different NFTs and they're staking and they get the random mint and they get 2 of the same one, they can upgrade that in the game, which makes them more powerful in the game for that weapon. But also that makes that a level 2 weapon to sell. So if they want to go drop that level 2 weapon on the marketplace, it's going to be more valuable than the level 1. So we've tried to do multiple systems that make it to where people can upgrade and to make the gameplay better, but it also they can upgrade to sell if they wanted to. So, later on down the road, if they get a bunch of level 4 gear and everything's level 4 and they're just tired of playing the game or whatever, they got a whole bunch of level 4 gear they can turn around and resell to people that will give them a jump start in the game.
So when people do these upgrades to these weapons, is that going to be changing the whole art and everything for that NFT? They'll get new background and possibly the weapon will look a little different as well?
The weapon itself will look the same. Because it'll basically, like the on the card, on the NFT, the weapon, I take that back. It is different. I apologize. Yes, the card will be completely different. It is. I'm sorry. I got confused. So for each weapon, we've had the artist draw the weapon in 4 different colors, basically. And so each card will be 4 different colors as well. So when they get the level 1 weapon, it'll be like a green looking axe or whatever that they have. The level 2 version of that will be a blue looking axe with a blue background and different shapes in the NFT. So every time they upgrade, they will actually mint a brand new NFT that looks similar style, but it'll look different colors, different color axe, different shapes and stuff on the card. And you'll see what we mean when we mean shapes. Like the common just has like a hexagon. The rare has a double hexagon. The epic has the double hexagon with 3 lines that go through it from the corner to corner. And then the other one has the legendary has other lines that are built. So it's like it gets more dramatic in the how the NFT looks as you level it up as well. So each one of those gear pieces will have 4 different NFTs tied to it: level 1, 2, 3, and 4, common, rare, epic, and legendary.
Well, that's very awesome. It's cool to see people, like I said, just another case of utilizing the technology and bringing new use cases to the NFTs and things like that. And it's just going to make people be even more prevalent, play the games even more, want to earn all of these tools just so they can do the upgrades, because everyone's going to want, obviously, the top tier, the strongest weapons in the game. So really cool to hear that it's also going to be causing that to be deflationary. So yeah, that's really awesome to hear. You guys have been just pumping it out over there, working really hard, bringing all of these awesome things. And just like I said, keeping your head down. We're in kind of this lull of the market. You guys have been doing a really great job of just pumping away, keeping the drive going, keeping everything going. And yeah, that's really great. Is there any other topics that we may have missed speaking on you guys want to talk about before we wrap things up?
I do want to mention that me and Kevin both will be down at Cypherpunk Blox is having a conference September 27th through and 28th, I think, is what it is in Fort Lauderdale. With us being a Blox partner, we get tickets to that. So we will be down there. We'll probably have some SGK shirts made, so with our names and stuff on them. So if anybody decides they want to come down there to that conference and meet us, meet anybody, I think a lot of the Blox and Kadena teams will be there. Several projects will be there. It should be a pretty fun time, but we've already got our tickets and Airbnb and everything booked, and so we'll be down there in September if anybody wants to come there, actually meet us face to face.
Yeah, and also I was going to mention too, go check us out on Arcade, where we got the Gen Zero. Last I checked, there was about 103 NFTs still available for purchase. I think the floor price is 24.5 KDA, so it's up right now. And if you're interested in the Gen 1, you can reach over to Isoko and jump on their site and go mint you a Gen 1 and get ready for that staking coming soon.
It will be, Isoko is also integrating Gen Zero into their website as well. Hopefully in the next 3 to 4 weeks or so. I don't know exactly, but hopefully in the next few weeks, you'll be able to purchase Gen Zero and Gen 1 both on Isoko. So it'll still be on Arcade as well. But you'll be able to purchase either one of those from Isoko. And they're going to have the marketplace there as well to be able to resell them.
Yeah, I just checked on Arcade. You're down to 99 listed. And the floor price is still 24.5. So I was checking Isoko too to see what the mint's at for the Gen 1s, but unfortunately they seem to be having flux node issues at the moment. So hopefully that resolves soon.
Yeah. We've been in contact with them about that. They're aware of it. They're getting in contact with Flux to see to get all that redeployed and everything.
Yeah, that happens. Not much you can do. Flux is usually really good to get on top of those kind of things, so I'm not too worried.
They are.
No.
Yeah,
Flux is amazing, yeah.
All right, well, that's really great to hear. Make sure everyone listening, you guys go check out Secret Garden, join their Discord as well. They have a very active Discord channel. Follow them here on Twitter. Go try out Blox Heroes as well. Go snag yourself some Gen Zs, some Gen Zeros off of Arcade so you can get ready for when they finally release their staking. And also so you'll be able to play the game once it's fully live. And make sure you guys go check out the Gen 1s as well on Osoku so that you're ready for all of the next games that they're working on and all of the great things that I have working in the future. So I want to thank both of you guys for coming by and catching us up. It's really great always talking with you guys. You guys are some of the hardest workers in the space, always got your head down, developing and building the Secret Garden to something really special. So thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we don't really appreciate it.
Of course, anytime. Always welcome back anytime you guys want. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming and listening today. Like I said, make sure you guys go check out Secret Garden, give them a follow on Twitter, join their Discord, get involved, and make sure you guys go check out KadenaEcosystem.com. Check out our calendar of all of our upcoming AMAs to not miss out on any of our awesome conversations like this one we just had today. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming and listening. Have yourselves a great day and take care. That wraps up another amazing AMA. Thank you for listening. Here at Kadena Ecosystem, we strive to bring an open platform for projects being built on Kadena to present themselves to the community. Please ensure to do your own research on the projects before investing. Also ensure to follow us on our social media from Twitter to subscribing to our weekly newsletter to keep up to date on everything KDA related. You can find all the links in the description below. Take care.